Hi everyone, it's Jenny. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. So, just come on. A while ago, I did some wonky houses with some old envelopes. But I was given a load of old big box of envelopes that had either sort of stuck together and were no good to be using as envelopes. So, what I'm going to do with this lot of envelopes, I've got 6. Is I've basically glued them together, which I'll show you how I do that on a separate video, but I'm going to make just a little 6-page journal, but I want to use up a lot of scraps. So I found an old calendar which I've cut up, and it had all sorts of bits and pieces on for each month. It had sentiments. It was a very sort of angels, guardians, sort of things like that. So yeah, I've basically cut it up. So I'm going to base my little sort of 6-page journal on this calendar. I've also got out my scrap pieces, and I don't know that I'm going to go for blue. It may be that I just keep it to pink, green and purple. I'm not sure yet. I haven't quite decided, but I keep mine all in little coloured pockets. So I've got my scraps out. I've also got out my scrap. I know I've got these, but a lot of these don't necessarily have specific colours. So this is my scrap box as well, with shapes and bits of, you know, all different. So my aim is to use this. And I've also got out my little bit box, which has got absolutely loads of things in it, and I want to use this. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to film the whole journey because it's going to be quite a long one. So I'm going to probably pause the camera and go off camera and start making it, and I might come back on maybe halfway through and then come back on at the end, so that the video isn't really long. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you what I'm going to start with, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you soon. Right, I'm back from over halfway through my journal, and I realised that it's actually been quite a few days since I've done it. I've changed my nail colour, and I thought I'll go back to the beginning and just show you how I made it. As I said, these old envelopes, I've had to pull some of them because they were sealed. They're no good for using, put cards in. So all I did was I've opened up each envelope, and I've literally put them all together like this. And it's just maybe another way of using up, get rid of that little bit that's torn off, envelopes that maybe you would normally just throw away or not use or something. So literally I've just opened them all up, put them all round the same way, and then all we're going to do is we are going to fold and glue. Fold and glue, fold and glue. So let me start at the beginning, because this will be the back page probably. So let me just get my glue undone, and I'll quickly do this with you and show you what I do. So literally I just glue each flap. Now what I haven't done first of all, which I normally do, is just put some bulldog clips on, just so that it doesn't move, just to keep it in place there. So we're going to glue that one down. Okay, we're then, make sure I'm in screenshot, literally going to glue the next one down on top. Get the idea? So you can add as many or as little as you want to make this. And you think, oh, it's going to be a big old hard bit on the back here, but there's not, because we're going to cover it, and you're not going to even see that this is where you have put your glue and folds. last one. So literally, there's my 6. I'm just going to put that on for a minute. And then what I do is I just put a couple of clips here and leave that to a side. Ooh, and let it dry. Okay. And once it's dry, you're then going to have, I'll turn it over because that's going to be the back. You're then going to have, I can't open it because of the ball or clips, but you're going to have, well, I will, and I'll put them back on again in a minute. If you turn it over, you're going to have 2 pages, and on every page on the left hand side, you're going to have an already made pocket. Okay. So you're going to have a double spread on each side, but a pocket on the left hand side. Okay. If you wanted to do it the other way, you could just turn it round, have this as your front cover, and you'll have the pocket on the right hand side. It's totally up to you, but that's how I do it. And you can do as many or you know, as few as you want. And as I say, it's just a way of using up these envelopes. I was gifted a load of envelopes by my cousin, who Lolly Lulu Crafts, and she yeah, they'd all sort of stuck together, so they were no good to her. So I have made this little book thing. So as I showed you, I got the scraps out, and in the end I decided that I only went for 2 colours. I used my pinks and my greens. So this is what I've got left of my pinks. So I'll put that to the side. And then this is what I've got left of my greens and the bits of the calendar, etc. So I'm going to pop them just to that side. And then what I've got left, because I have shown you, I'll show you I've made the journal. What I've got left of the bits that I so far haven't used are just these pieces. And these pieces. Now what I've done with this is I've put it onto a piece of the green. I've just made it onto a bit of a border, and I've got those. So I've left 1 page on my journal to do with you, so that you haven't got to go through the whole thing. So this is literally just for me. It's because it was my calendar, and the angels and the words and everything just remind me of my nanny, so I wanted to put everything in here and keep it. So literally I just put some tape around the front cover and the back cover. I've chose some papers, and I've stuck on a sentiment and the angel wings. I've also got some of these little rose gold little corner pieces, which I've put one on here. I haven't done the back one yet because I was going to do that with you. So each one, as I say, was just a matter of using up scraps, using up the calendar, and keeping this for myself as a little sort of sentiment thing to look at. So each page, as you'll see, I've either stamped, inked, or done something. And then also I got some of the little spare ones, and I've made little tags to pull out, and I've mounted them on some paper. So, and then each one will just pop in there. I've used some scrap of the colours. I've used some lovely stamps that I've got, feather stamps, and stamped them, and literally just collaged on each page. Angels live among us. Sometimes they hide their wings, but there's no disguising the peace and hope that they bring. So each page, you'll see. So I've done some more sentiments here. I've done some washi tape. I put some of my metallic ink down, ink liquid, the Posh Rainbow ones, butterfly. I've stamped some words, and again, I've always got, may you believe that you will always have an angel by your side. And again, I've just used my scraps. And then inside, inside, there she goes. Believers look up, the angels are nearer than you think. And then I'm just popping that in there, just so that I can keep this. And again, I've got some more bits that I've pop on there. I've got some little bits in there. Another one under there. May you believe that you will always have an angel by your side. And I just wanted to keep this calendar, and I thought this was a way of doing it. There was a few bits of scrap washi tape there. This one I stenciled some flowers onto. Sometimes angels sing to you in the wind. All you have to do is listen. And again, just literally stenciled bits. Put a couple of give your worries to the angels and breathe in peace, you are loved. And when angels visit us, we do not hear the rustle of wings, we feel the love they create. And then there was this feather that I cut out from the calendar, and yeah. So I've saved this page. So literally all I've done is I've put some sort of tealy green metallic smooshing down on here. I've covered the page with my scrappy bits of pink. I popped a bit under here just to cover that piece, and I thought I'll just decorate it with you and use what we've got left. So we have got these bits. So I think what I'm going to do, I've got a couple of bits. I've made one of those already. That's one to go in. Angels live among us. Sometimes they hide their wings, but there's no disguising the peace and hope they bring. So that's going to go under there. I've also got this big one. So I'm just going to make another. I've got this old scrappy sort of wallpaper. And literally I'm just going to cut a tag on this. So I'm just going to cut that like that. Let's make sure that that's straight, and I'm going to glue that and pop that in the little pocket. It's just so that I could keep all the bits with it, and I'll pop that in there to dry. That'll dry, and then that can go under there like so. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to decorate. We are never so lost that our angels cannot find us. I like that. And I'm just be careful of the back, because it was my calendar, so there's things written on it. So I'm just going to have a little peep at each time I do it. So yeah. Angels are everywhere watching over you and me, though at times we don't feel their presence. Angels are with us morning, noon and night. Ooh, let me just cover that up because that's got bits written on it. And there's no thought really gone into this. It's just the fact that I wanted to keep this as a special sort of memento. Now I've got that page, but I was thinking that might go on the back to go match the front. So let's have a look. I've also gone round the edges with some pink. We're never so lost. We're never so lost that our angels can't find us. And then I've got a couple of butterflies as well, and I've picked out this sort of tealy coloured one, which I think is going to look lovely. I'm going to go for that. As I say, I sat down doing this. I didn't have too much thought about it. I just went with the flow. Let's just put those bits down. And again, it's just a way of keeping my calendar, but not having it sort of just sitting in a drawer, and using up my scrap and those envelopes that I wanted to use. So I'm going to put that butterfly, because it's exactly the right colour, on there like that. Okay, now I have still got some words that I haven't used, so I can tuck those into one of the pockets, because I don't know that I'm going to be using them right now. That one's going to go there. I don't know if any of them, that will fit on there. Oh, let me just cover that up again. Sorry. Keep forgetting. We can have that there. Angels are everywhere watching over you and me. That's the end bit. Right, I'm going to have to cut that because it's too long. So now that can just, I'm going to just glue half of that because then I can have it hanging over the pocket, but I can still use the pocket. That makes sense. Don't feel their presence. Oh, as though at time we don't feel their presence, isn't it? Quick. That's fine. I can quickly get that off. My mistake. Right, then I can do that again. Just hang over there. That can go there. That I'm going to cut and pop that on there. Let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm just going to be able to squeeze this one in, I think. Literally, yeah. And that means I've only actually got 1 sentiment left that I haven't used for the whole little journal. There, I like that. Now, oh, yes, we need to do that. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. Oh, Jenny, what are you doing? My mind is not with it at the moment. There we go. Rectified that little situation. And I did find this really pretty rose one, which I think I'm going to put there, because even if I've got stuff in the pockets, you're still going to see the outside here. So I push those in, and then that can just go there. They can go in the pockets. There we go. So the only one I haven't used in this is this one. So I'm going to find a pocket. Make sure that's glued down. Find a pocket that I'm going to put that. It's got 2 in. So's that. Right, that's only got 1 in. So I'm going to pop that under there. And then it will just be sat there. So we've just got the back page. I put some washi tape that I had, some writing washi tape, but I'm actually thinking I'm going to put this on as well on the back. Oh, let me not turn that over, sorry. Dear, Jenny. Forgot all the stuff's on the back. Let's quickly just glue that up and stick it down. Like so. I'm going to put my 2 little corner bits on. Just protects it when it's up in the bookcase. And I'll just give them a little squeeze while they're on. There we go, that one's in. Pop that one on. Get that in there. There we go. That's it. And then, last but not least, I've got these little flowers, which I'm just thinking I would like a few bits on. So let's just choose a few random ones. This is all different designs. That's 5. There we go. I use those. So we're just going to just put a tiny dab of glue down and put those down. I'm going to go down there with that one. And then I'm going to go there with that one. Now, the only other thing I think I would like to do is just get my little stamp and just get, stop it, someone's just pulled up outside, just do a couple of feathers on there. There we go. 3, I think. There we go. Pop that back. I'll just give that stamp a quick wipe. Sort that out in a minute. And there we have it. So literally from out of those scrap envelopes that I've turned into a little book that's just for my personal use, an old calendar that I wanted to keep. So quick flick through. There we go. Like that. And then that's the page we've just done. You know, I could put a couple of, in fact I will while we're here, put a couple of feathers on that, like so. Clean that one up in a minute. And I've got this little heart stamp that I quite like. I'll put one there and one there. There we go. And then we've just done the back page. So there you go. That's going to go in my little bookcase. And yeah, put those scraps bits back, and it used up some bits and pieces. So hope you enjoyed. Do hit the like button if you did, and take care everyone. Crafty hugs, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.